Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Myers with Starkest Jade. Today I wanted to do a quick video to show you how different fabric counts can change the pattern you are stitching. This is one of my most popular patterns, so I've stitched it out on 4 different fabric counts so you can see just how much the size of the pattern changes. From fabric count to fabric count, the pattern doesn't change, so it's always going to be 68 stitches wide by 69 stitches tall. All of my patterns are created for 14 count fabric, which is this right here. So the finished size for this pattern is going to be just under 5 inches by 5 inches, and it's framed in a 6-inch hoop. If you ever don't know how much fabric you're going to need for a project, online you can find cross-stitch calculators. They're going to ask you how many stitches wide and tall your pattern is, as well as how many inches of extra space you would like to leave around the outside of the pattern. You can then add in different fabric counts to see just how much the size of the finished pattern will turn out. This is the largest of my examples. This is on 11 count fabric. It's framed in an 8-inch hoop for reference. So here's the original one that's framed in the 6-inch hoop, and that's how much bigger it is if you stitch it on 11 count. Here's an example on 18 count. I do want to mention that you can buy all the different fabric counts in various colors. I just already had this antique white on hand. So this one is in a 5-inch hoop, and again, here's the 6-inch hoop for comparison. This example was done on 28 count fabric. This is actually even weave instead of Aida. Again, I just already had this on hand, but it is going to be the same 28 count size as a 28 count Aida. So this one is framed in a 4-inch hoop. It probably could have fit in a 3. I just already had a 4-inch hoop on hand. And then here's the comparison. If you have any fabric already and you're not sure what the count is, just grab a ruler. I've marked a square that's 1 inch by 1 inch just so it's a little easier for the video. But you can just hold your ruler up to the fabric and then count how many squares are in 1 inch. I would recommend doing this both horizontally and vertically in at least 2 spots. That way you can make sure that it's even. Some lower grade or cheaper Aida might be 14 high, but then only 13 wide, and that will kind of make your pattern a little uneven. Depending on the fabric count you're using, you're also going to want to think about what needle size you're going to use and how many strands of floss you're going to use. So for 14 count fabric, I typically use a size 24 tapestry needle. That way the eye of the needle is big enough to hold 2 strands, and then the diameter of the needle also will not enlarge any of these holes as I'm stitching. If you're using a lower count fabric, like again this one is 11 count, you're gonna probably want to use a little bit bigger of a needle so that you can use a few more strands. That will help with the coverage. To show you a better example of what I mean by coverage, so all 4 of these I used 2 strands of floss. In the 14 count one, you can kind of see that they're little X's that make up the cross stitch. In this one, it's much easier to see the individual X's. This one you can't really tell. Maybe if you look up close, you can see that there's individual X's that make up the cross stitch. And then in this one, you're probably going to need a very good pair of glasses, maybe a magnifying glass to actually see the different X's of each stitch. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any more questions on cross stitch or fabric count, please leave a comment down below or send me a message on Etsy.